if something were to happen to you today, what would your family inherit? Wealth or worry?
Yes. Will they have stability, or will they have to scramble with GoFundMe pages? That's the true test of legacy. Not how much you made, but what your family is left with when you are gone. Friends, the story your family tells tomorrow begins with the decisions you make today.
So, to answer that question, drop in the chat. Also, what you would want your children, what would you want your children to say about your legacy, or your family, or anybody else, your better half, or whoever it is that is closest to you, that is depending on you today? What are they going to say about your legacy when you are no longer here tomorrow?
So, I think deep down we all want the same thing, right? For our children to say we gave them more than we received from them. But here is the truth. That's not automatic at all. Most of us came to the US searching for opportunities. We left behind our careers, businesses, families, and comfort to start over right here. But here is the reality. If we don't plan, all that sacrifice can vanish.
That's right. That's right. In fact, reminds me of the story of a nurse who was offered the opportunity to plan her finances. The opportunity we are offering you tonight, using this tool to plan her own finances. And she said, I am not ready yet. I want to buy a house first, right? This can wait until later. Let me focus on buying a house first. Folks, years down the line, this particular lady was diagnosed with cancer. Yes, you heard me right. And to treat cancer in this country is not chicken change, as we will say. The treatment drained her money, and she couldn't keep up even with the mortgage for this house that she so longed for and that she had bought. Unfortunately, the cancer claimed her life. The resultant effect, her children were thrown out of this same house because, of course, they couldn't pay the mortgage, so they lost the home. Can you imagine if only she had a plan? The type of plan we are sharing with you tonight. It could have given her money for the treatment she needed. And as she ended up not making it, her children would have still been secured with the legacy she would have left behind. And perhaps they never would have been thrown out of that home.
Exactly. We've seen this too many times. Immigrants come here for 20, even 30, 40, 50 years. And at the end of it all, they are left with very little in savings after decades of sacrifice. Just yesterday, someone shared with us about a man who had lived here for 50 years. It was her brother. And she said the family that she was embarrassed because the wife had put on a GoFundMe for his funeral. And that's what happens. And it's heartbreaking.
It is indeed. But compare that type of situation, to a family who took time to plan. Such families will leave behind 100K, 200, 500, sometimes $1 million and even more security for their tomorrow.
So let me ask you, which story do you want for your family? What story are they going to tell?
And that's really the heart of this conversation tonight. We have discovered that in our community, too many families start over from scratch. Every generation just starts from scratch. Whereas some of these other communities, older communities, their generation just picks up from one and goes on. Imagine this. Your children starting where you stopped, not at the bottom, not at the beginning.
Yes. And one of the most powerful ways to make that happen is with a financial tool that banks and wealthy families use. But most of us either don't know about it. That's one thing we've discovered. In our community, most of us don't know about it. And for those who even know about it, we dismiss it too quickly. And that is cash value life insurance. Yes, you heard me right. Life insurance. Life insurance is not just for death. It's also a wealth building tool.
So, using what you see before you, generational poverty versus wealth, we are going to show you two families, both starting at age 32 to begin to build this wealth. Many people will relate to the first one,
yes.
Right?
And that is family budget. You know, most of us we relate with family budget. These are just hypothetical names that we are using to illustrate the point. So family budget rejected the plan that was offered. She stuck with just her 401k. And 35 years later, at her death, she had less than 70,000 left in her 401k. And her family still owed Uncle Sam 12% in taxes out of that 70,000 she left behind. Sadly, that's the reality of many immigrant families today.
Particularly all those who rely on 401k and tout 401k. When you talk, they say they have 401k. But let's look at family sense. She invested about $724 a month into a $250,000 cash value plan. That's a life insurance cash value plan. Now, at her death, her 401k was about the same as Bajay's, family Bajay's. But here's the huge difference. For the 7 years preceding her death, she had already taken out over $100,000 a year for her retirement as a retirement income. And when she ended up going to sleep, her family still received over $900,000 tax-free. Can you compare that with family budget?
No. And now, even if she hadn't, if she had died earlier, right, even like 31 years into the plan before retirement. So you look at it, before that, her family would still have received a full tax-free payout of over $1 million. $1 million, you heard that right. Yet she only contributed over $286,000 during her lifetime.
Folks, that's protection. That's what we're talking about. That's wealth transfer. That's how generational wealth begins. Let me be honest with you. Nothing else, including your 401k, your stocks, your bitcoins, your 403b, your 529 accounts, college accounts, etc., whatever it is you have, compares with this bucket, with this planning tool. So let me ask you, which family do you want yours to be?
Family budget or family sense?
Let that sink in. Let that sink in, folks. Which family do you want yours to be?
So that question matters because your choice doesn't just affect you. It shapes your children's future. And here is the exciting part. Family Sense's story doesn't end with her at all. Because legacy doesn't just protect one generation, it flows into the next.
Exactly. You see, she didn't just stop at protecting herself and thereby providing for her family and starting a generational wealth. She also secured her daughter's future before she was even a year old with what we call the $1 million policy, baby policy. She paid just $500 a month for 25 years. And at her death, the policy was already fully paid. Her daughter never had to contribute a dime to that policy. Mama paid it all.
Yep. But here is the beauty. Even before her mother passed, the daughter was already benefiting from it, right? Because she withdrew over $43,000 a year for 6 straight years to pay for college.
To cover for her first degree and her master's.
Yes, over $260,000 in total. That's a debt-free education funded by her mother's foresight.
Wow. What a mother, what a mama that sense is, you know. But it doesn't stop there. Long after Mrs. Sense is gone, her daughter, that the mama had paid up front for, her daughter will receive a retirement income of over $210,000 every year for 25 years, amounting to a total of over $5 million. Yes, you heard me right. How much did she pay in? Mama only made a total payment of $150,000.
Yep.
Let that sink in, folks.
And that's not just numbers on a page. That's stability, opportunity, dignity, legacy carried forward.
Exactly. Every year, that income reminds this young lady of her mother's love. Do you think she will ever forget her mama?
Nope.
Do you think so?
Nope. And let me say this clearly. No 401k, no IRA, any retirement bucket you're thinking about will give you this kind of legacy. But friends, there is more. There is more.
That's true. That is true. There is much more to this that meets the eyes. Let's go on. And yes, you see, the real beauty of this tool is not just in what it leaves behind, the legacy it also creates, but it is how it grows, how it creates that legacy. Let's talk about the power of compounding. Many of us in this country, everything we do, we are paying compound interest, right?
Exactly.
Everything, literally, you are paying compound interest.
Student loans, credit card loans, debt, all.
But this is one account that pays you compound interest.
Yep.
Let's look at some numbers. If Mrs. Sense had put $724 a month, that same amount of money, into a regular savings account, your brick and mortar savings account, for 25 years, at 0.5% interest, it would have only grown to what? About $231,000. And remember, she contributed over $217,000 of that money herself. So can you see the pittance over 25 years? What the growth, the interest she made?
Yep, only 14,000.
Pittance compared to what she had put in and the time she had put that in.
Yes.
Right?
So let's compare that with compounding growth at just 6.1%. Same contribution, right? Same time for 25 years, but it grows to more than $750,000. That is the power of compounding. See the difference from 231,000 to 750,000, and that is just being conservative. They're talking of 6.1% interest, right? Time, consistency, and choosing the right bucket are wealth's best friends.
And here's something most people don't realize. With traditional retirement accounts that are tied to the stock market, compounding gets interrupted every time the market dips. It's like an EKG machine. It goes that way, up and down. Each time the market dips, you have a heart attack, right? But with this tool, man, you can go to sleep and close your eyes and have a beautiful night's rest. Because even in your sleep, your compounding continues uninterrupted.
Yep.
And that is what Einstein said here. You know, Albert Einstein, the power of compounding. It is the eighth wonder of the world. He who knows it earns it.
Yep.
He who doesn't pays it.
And that is what most of our communities do. We pay it because we don't know it. We don't understand it. We chase after things that make us pay compound interest instead of chasing after things that help us to earn compound interest. So it is like planting a tree. The earlier you plant, the bigger the shade. And your family will be able to rest in that shade for generations upon generations.
Not just rest, not just your family. Actually, the rest begins with you, right? So the rest begins with you. So that is one thing that you begin to see, that shade isn't just for that future. It covers you today, while you are still alive. When once you begin to plant and water and feed it and nurture it and let it grow consistently over time, compounded interest. And as we mentioned earlier, many people think life insurance is only for death. Yes, there are some life insurances that are only for death. I call those the death insurance. But what we are talking with you tonight, friends, is the real life insurance, one that will protect you while you are alive.
Exactly. Think about it. A major illness like cancer can cost $150,000 to treat. Our studies show that medical bills cost 70% of bankruptcy in America. Medical bills. And when you're sick, health insurance doesn't always move fast enough. But when you have access to your own money, care happens faster.
That is so true. And that is where living benefits come in. That is what they do for you because you can access them. And Family Sense, Mrs. Sense in our story, had a plan that allowed her to tap into her policy while alive. Up to 100% for critical or terminal illness, 100% of the face value of the total amount insured, or 25% every year if she couldn't do any of the 2 of the 5 basic daily activities, living daily activities.
That's real protection, not just for your family when you're gone, but for your own hustle, your own dignity, and your future today while you're still alive.
That I hope what we are saying is resonating with you, and you are beginning to see where this is taking you to. You see, because the protection we are talking about here isn't just about illness. It's also protecting your money in retirement. One of the biggest expenses people pay and face when they stop working is retirement. The fear of outliving their retirement income is one of the biggest fears in this country. So in our illustration, Mrs. Sense, what does she do? She lives. Mrs. Sense lives up to retirement. She's ready for it. She's not afraid of the taxes because she's going to get solid income in addition to whatever she would have already been getting. Now, we all know Social Security averages about $1,900 a month. That sounds okay. But you know, in 20 years, that will feel more like probably $1,000 or even less due to inflation. The annual inflation rate is said to be 3%, but most times it's even higher than that. Can anyone really live on that? Of course not. But at 66, what does Mrs. Sense do? She turns to her cash value policy when she's retired. The plan she started at age 32. And look at this. she's now receiving over $100,000 every year, tax-free, free from Uncle Sam, alongside her 401k. She's still getting her 401k. She's still getting her Social Security. So this is what we will call an extra. Imagine the difference in her life, the quality of her life with Mrs. Baje.
And here is where it gets real. If that same money was in her 401k, Uncle Sam will take a big chunk in taxes. And instead of the over 100,000 you're seeing here that she will get every year, she will see much less. But with this plan, every dollar is hers. All hers. So without a strategy like this, taxes quietly eat away at everything you've worked for. All your sleepless nights, your multiple jobs, your multiple shifts, everything just goes. But with the right plan, properly structured, you grow money tax-free and keep more in retirement.
Let that sink in. Tax-free income in the land of Uncle Sam. Is it possible? You've just said, yes, it is. And also, speaking of burdens, let's talk about something that is cultural. Many of us who are immigrants from Africa and different places, when we pass on or a loved one passes on, the expectation is that the body will be taken back home to be buried in your traditional homestead, right? But did you know that it costs anything from $12,000 to $20,000 to take a body back home? Families borrow, they beg, they go through the indignity of GoFundMe to raise the money. It's a painful burden to leave behind. And so, even now speaking to you, I told my family, that will never happen. We are protected. Even if I go to sleep today, my family can take me home peacefully without asking any of you for a dime, unless you choose to give.
No GoFundMe.
No GoFundMe. Definitely not.
Now, think about Mrs. Sense that we're, illustrating with. We assume that she passed at the age of 72, right? And her family received over $938,000 in death benefits. If she wanted her body taken back to Africa, that would just be a small expense compared to what she left behind. Because see the amount of money, even if it's 30,000 or 40,000 out of the 900 and something thousand, they will be able to foot it
comfortably. They will mourn in peace. No GoFundMe whatsoever. No family conflict. Have you seen the drama that occurs when people die at times? No begging. Just mourning with dignity, with peace, with provision, and with certainty that mama or daddy did well. They provided. And that's really the point. Legacy, as we are talking about today, is either planned by you or decided by someone else.
And when someone else does the plan, I can assure you wouldn't like it.
Exactly. So let's pause for a moment at this juncture. I'm going to ask you to do something. Please indulge me. Kindly close your eyes for about 5 seconds and picture your children's or your family's faces, that loved one's face, if you were God. And give us a few moments of silence to really see them. And I'm closing my own eyes also. Let's picture 5 seconds.
Let's open our eyes. What do you think they saw? Your struggles? Debts you left for them? Or your solutions? Inheritance? Legacy? The choice is actually yours. What you expect?
Ours saw inheritance. That's what I saw, that they saw. Inheritance, not worries. The legacy for them. And that's the good news.
Mhm.
You know, the choice is actually in your hands.
Exactly.
No excuses. You determine
Mhm.
how you want to go. Because legacy isn't complicated.
Nope.
It's really a three-part formula.
Yep.
You build, protect, transfer.
Mhm. You build through compounding and growth.
Protect with living benefits, mortgage protection, income replacement, and that burial security that you can go rest with your forefathers when you are gone without any hassles.
Mhm. Transfer with tax-free inheritance that passes smoothly.
And let's be clear, folks. Let's reiterate this. You know, this is not just about what happens when you go to sleep.
Mhm.
It's about living well now,
Yep.
retiring with dignity,
Mhm.
being able to take that vacation you've so longed for, take a cruise around the world without a care, without a worry, and ultimately giving your children a lead, a head start in life.
Exactly. Exactly. And whenever we share this, the first question people ask is, how can I afford this? And we understand because as immigrants, we carry double responsibilities, right? We support our families here, and we also send money back home. Mhm.
Yes, indeed. Many of us send anything between $3,000 to $6,000 every year back home.
Mhm.
Now imagine over 20 years, that could come to more than $120,000 or more
Mhm.
over that period.
Mhm.
Yet when you look back at your life here,
Mhm.
you often have nothing to show for it. We just told you of somebody who's been in this country for 50 years
Yep.
and died, and they are doing GoFundMe. 50 years. Can you imagine that?
Mhm. That's not just storytelling. This happened just yesterday when the sister of the said person told us this. So it's real. But imagine if part of that money had been set aside in the right bucket. That same sacrifice could have grown to more than $350,000. That's cushion for you, for your family, for your retirement. That's a head start for your children.
And this is not about choosing one or the other, because really we're saying, look at having sent home over 120,000
Yep.
over how many years?
Mhm.
Even if you took out 60 of that time and
Yep.
put in this, half of it and put in this bucket,
Yep.
can you imagine what it will do for you, folks?
Because the 120 you even send, you hardly get anything
You
back.
don't get anything back that you can even use for.
It's like throwing it into a sinkhole.
Literally. The experiences of many immigrants
Mhm.
back home is a sad one,
Yeah.
with the investments
Mhm.
they've made
Mhm.
back home. In fact, we had the story of a client of us who just told us the other day that what happened. He has a big home, big house back in Nigeria, and the rents that he collects from that house. He said when he and his wife went into Walmart, that it only bought them 2 bags of groceries, the rent for the entire house for a whole year.
Yep.
So, but what we're saying here, folks, is about balance. Let me then ask you, are you only sending money, or are you also planting wealth here for the day you can no longer walk,
Mhm.
and for your children to begin where you stopped?
Exactly.
My people have a saying, and they say that where you live
Mhm.
is where you build your castle,
Mhm.
where you build and guard your castle.
Mhm. And that's why we are here tonight, to help you create that balance, to help you do the planting part, to actually grow money, your wealth here for your future, not just sending it away, right? Don't wait for a crisis to decide your legacy. Let's take time together to design a plan for you that fits your family, your income, and your dreams. The earlier you start, the bigger the results. Because as you saw, compounding only works if you give it time.
As licensed financial professionals, we can tailor policies to your needs, whether you want to build cash for the future, protect your mortgage, or add riders that cover specific illnesses, or even replace your income in case you lose your job. The goal is simple: peace of mind for today and a legacy for tomorrow.
And the reason we can make that possible is because we work with more than 50 reputable companies across the US and Canada. What you see here are just a few of them, and I'm sure you can already recognize some of them.
The advantage, again, is choice. You have the choice. Whether you want to build wealth for retirement, pay off a mortgage, plan for your children or grandchildren's future, or simply leave a legacy like the Rockefellers or Walt Disney and the rest of them that have built a name for themselves. We can find a company amongst all these companies and a product that meets your own needs, that suits your needs.
All right. So just for your awareness, no one here takes your money. You pay your premiums directly to the insurance company after you have been approved. So all we do is to guide you, put in the application, and see if you qualify. Because approval isn't automatic at all. And that is why you have to start immediately. So we see if you can be pre-approved.
So please don't put this, what you have heard today, in the I'll think about it bucket. Make sure you connect today with the person who invited you. Tomorrow is pregnant, as my people say. Nobody knows what it will give birth to. Your family's legacy deserves action now.
Exactly. And that's really our prayer for every family we meet with, that our children will never have to say, my parents struggled and left me nothing.
Instead, they'll be able to say with a full chest, my parents built a foundation that I could stand on.
That is legacy.
That is dignity.